Economist and global strategist at Euro Pacific Capital and host of the Peter Schiff Show podcast, Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Peter, there's a lot of heat on crypto right now, mostly because of the FTX debacle. Sam Bankman-Fried last night spoke at an event. What are your thoughts on what he said?
Well, I didn't hear what he said, but, I wish I would have taken a deeper look into Sam Bankman-Fried earlier, because I think I would have ferreted out the fraud pretty quickly, just like I did with Celsius. I just had one.
And for the record, he came out against Celsius, and that's what first, many months ago, is when I was like, hey, there's something wrong here. And that's what put me on the holy shit. When Peter Schiff talks about something, I listen. So just his explanation here is, I think it's really well done, and it's better than I could have said. So pay attention here, and then we're going to get into some XRP. We need to look at the XRP chart, Bitcoin, XLM, and DGB. I'm considering looking at Algo, which we will look at Algo, because if you're an Algo fan, it's hit a fresh 2022 low once again, as it broke the 22 cent level, which is unbelievable. So let's listen, and then after the intro, we'll get into the technical analysis. But let's listen to this for a couple minutes here.
Debate with Mashinsky, and I immediately knew he was running a Ponzi, and I called him out during the debate. And this operation was similar in that they were paying yield on crypto. How could you do that? Cryptos don't generate yield. The only way to generate yield is to take tremendous risk, which is exactly what he did. Except the people who were depositing their crypto didn't appreciate the risk that was being taken. Of course, they were taking a lot of risk themselves just owning crypto, because all these currencies are basically worthless. They're not even really currencies. They're collectible tokens. But pretty soon, nobody is going to want a Bitcoin collection or any of these collections, and the prices are going to implode.
Peter, a lot of fund managers are actually expressing sympathy to him now, saying that they believe, his naivete, if you will, versus, consciously defrauding people. What is your take?
Well, I don't really know to the extent that what he did was criminal or just, gross incompetence and negligence. I don't really have enough information, but he was a young kid. I mean, he just turned 30. But you would think that some of these hedge fund managers that invested with him would have done a little bit of due diligence. But this just shows you the way investors will act when they're drunk on cheap money. So I would blame the Federal Reserve for a lot of people acting as foolishly as they did.
Peter, I have to ask you about your thoughts on the overall state of the economy. A lot of volatility in the markets. What is your thought?
Well, the U.S. economy is an absolute disaster. I mean, thanks to Fed policy over the last decade or so, we have a gigantic bubble. We never had a real recovery. We just had a financial bubble, and we dug ourselves into a much deeper hole than the one the Fed put us in 2008, following the financial crisis that they also created with the same type of monetary policy that is creating the crisis that we're heading for, which is going to be far worse than what we experienced in 2008. I mean, not only is inflation going to get much worse than it already is, but we're going to have a worse financial crisis than the one we had in 2008. So this is going to be the worst recession that the U.S. has ever experienced. It may even be worse than the Great Depression. It will certainly feel worse for most people, because in the Depression, at least people got the relief of falling prices. This time, consumers are going to feel the sting of dramatically higher prices.
Good evening. 5:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, as we can see right now with the crypto prices, we're about 90 minutes until the daily close. Algo has put in today, I know it's astounding, and this is what I'm waiting for XRP, has put in another fresh 2022 low today. It came all the way down to 2162, and it's unbelievable just how far algo has fallen. And I told everybody a long time ago with algo that we were going to get some unbelievable pricing, and some would never believe how cheap it would get. And algo was well over $2 at one point. And now you can see just how far we've fallen. We even came outside. Let me go into the daily time frame. We fell outside this pattern, but look how high up we were at. And we have to go farther within the pattern, but algo was up here about, well, this shows $1.82, but this is the USDT chart. But let's see if I have another algo chart. Must have deleted it. I'll pull it back in my next update. Anyhow, algo's fallen below, and it's on a fresh 2022 low. Don't want to talk about this for very long. Oh, here's the other Algorand chart. I was going to say, I thought I had another one. So, algo has fallen down here, and I've shown you the other chart, but this is technically showing a rejection here on a much wider pattern, and this is what I wanted, this chart. Because now if we show this rejection at 2217 as it's showing, we can finally start to come down and start to play these bigger pattern breaks that I talked about a long time ago. And this would be your new pattern you could play down into. Even though that shows negative, that's because it's in the 4 hour. I need to pull it up on the side. When it breaks time frames for some reason, and if you trade on TradingView, it messes with you. Hold on one second. Let me just put this into where I want it. Because that's an overextension on the 1 wick down. Let's see if we can bring this up here. Just bear with me for 1 sec. I'm trying to extend this out. I don't even know what happened here now. It's been so long since I looked at this chart, but I know it got pulled out. So something like that is what I wanted it to look like. Even though this is way down, this is what it's supposed to be like. So you can see all the way down here, this is better. So if it breaks down in here, the next step we're looking at, it's a big drop down to 16 cent area, I should say, about 16 cents. But look how far this has dropped, and look at what's happening with algo. Oh boy, my power's about to go out. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, so now let's get into, real quick, Bitcoin. So just pay attention to that with algo as it's in a fresh 2022 low. Bitcoin, same thing. I don't want to say same thing as algo, but it's starting to break down here. And Bitcoin as well has hit a fresh 2022 low within this pattern formation. It's come back up here in the last about 2 weeks. But now we're going to be hunting this bear flag. And it's already showing. We're on another small bear flag here. But we're hunting the gigantic bearish flag. It's a bearish continuation right now. And if we fall back below this bear flag, which it looks like we're trying to come back down and test at 16,500, it's going to be a big problem. And if we just look at the other two charts, it shows it pretty easily. We're almost outside of this channel now. So you need to hold 16,750, we'll say, right in this area to hold this rising channel. And if we don't, then it allows us to come back down to the bottom of the channel. Well, the bottom of the actual pattern, which is this bear flag. And I think the next level is going to be 15,347. There are levels in between that you might hit on the way, but I think that's our next big level. We got rejected here at the bottom of the flag, and this is the chart that I use that allows us to see exactly what's going on without taking the whole flag into consideration. This is a more bearish scenario if this rejects with the way we have this played out. And right now, unfortunately for anybody who wants it bullish, we got rejected at 17,160 level approximately, and that's where we needed to get back within. If this continues like this, inevitably we will come down and we'll eventually find our destiny and see if we can hold 15,000. If not, that's when the real fun starts with Bitcoin. If we don't hold these, the technical target would be 11,657. So like I said, that mid 15,000 is just a pit stop. So pay attention to that because things can go very bad very quickly. XRP, we broke outside of this, and now we're consolidating down. We got the rejection up here, and I talked about how if we didn't come back up within 404, it was over here. And we would more than likely break way down. And it's not a straight shot down to 32 cents, but eventually we get there. But it's in layers. The technical target on a breakdown from exactly here, as I've had it measured out, will bring you down to about 2327, and that's a pretty big drop. And if we look at the perpetual futures chart, you can see we're on this latch extension support. And if we break this is when big drops can happen. If we break 3759, then we can come back down to the 36-cent level and retest the bear flag. And once that's broken, look out below. Because then you'd have a technical target once you break the 287, especially, that would get you down to sub 23 cents. And that's a big drop. XLM real quick. Still within the bear flag. And I even said, we're in this descending triangle, which is a bearish continuation, but I said right here, this bear flag, I think it put in a bear flag here, and it came up and retested the bull flag, which is common. XRP did not make that move as high. It almost did, but it missed out by about 2 cents on the XRP bull flag. So it was playing the same scenario, but now XLM popped over the bear flag, came all the way up to the bull flag resistance now after the breakdown, and came right back within the bear flag. This is very bearish. It's trying to confirm it's bearish, and it made a head and shoulders pattern within this. So now you look at logic, and logically we're going to come down to the 788 level if we don't break outside of this again and make a pushback to 99 in a very quick fashion. And then DGB, we're still hunting back down towards the uptrend. And I believe 0070 is going to be a target very, very quickly, as we failed to break the 008 level. And if we look at the other DGB chart, this was a pivot, and we failed the pivot level at 00747, and now it's going to bring us down. If we don't break back above this and work our way back up to the 850 level, we're working our way down, and right now we're failing the pivot level. And it looks like we could have put in a top and reversal here as well. But it remains to be seen because we haven't broken the key support area. But in due time, it looks like we're going to do just that. So let's just put this down here. And I'm using the wicks because I want to see the farthest possibility that this can go. I don't want to see inside. I don't want to see the inside track. I've already got that on the other chart. So basically, you're looking at last hope to hold the 007 level. That's what it ends up playing down to. So make sure to hit that like button. And look in the video description below to join me on MEXC, BitGet, or UPHOLD. And consider joining Tom's Army to support what I do so you don't have to have any paid advertisements.